Hey, Yetta, opened or closed?
Open, always open.
Are you sure?
Oh, maybe not.
Moving forward with the Dekker Team. Moving forward together with the Dekker Team.
For over 30 years, we've been able to come alongside you, not only selling, buying, and investing in real estate over 3,117 times, but coming alongside you to build your fund, build your faith, build your finances, build your family, even strengthen, heal, and flourish inside relationships. What we're going to discover this time is inside relationship of real estate, things are about to get interesting. You're going to get to choose whether you want to have open or closed.
Who's you?
The seller is going to get to choose whether they want open or closed information when they have more than one offer on a property.
That's right. And I love the way you said when there's more than one offer, because I thought that if it's an open process, that you could give the information of what the seller wants to disclose. First of all, the seller's going to have the right to choose how much information they disclose. The number of offers still must be disclosed, just like it is right now. How many offers? So if there's a multiple bid, your agent and yourself are going to be informed that there's 2, 3, 5, 10, whatever number of offers there are.
Right. When Ken's saying you, he's saying if you're a buyer that has shown interest in the property,
and you want to put an offer
and you want to put an offer in, the one piece of information we are obligated legally to disclose right now as the listing company is how many offers there are. Not who they're from, not any information, not even what the irrevocable is on the offer actually is to be disclosed. You can only disclose how many.
Yeah.
And only to those that have interest or an intending to bring an offer.
Yeah. So when TRESA, Trust in Real Estate Act 2002, comes into play in Ontario on December 1st, phase
2023.
2. Yeah. Phase 2 is coming out, and sellers can choose whether they want to have an open or a closed offer situation, which means they can disclose, if it's open, they can disclose different information. They cannot disclose the identity of the parties involved.
Meaning, if you're a buyer that's brought an offer in, they can't tell someone else that's brought an offer in who you are or what your name is.
Right.
That's private information. The Privacy Act is going to override the process of an open offer negotiation. So
Right.
private information pertaining to the other party,
Right.
the buyer side, is going to be held in utmost confidence like it is now.
Right. Now, the seller can now choose, beyond the number of offers which must be disclosed, they can choose to say, oh, we're just going to give the prices, or we're going to give the price and the closing date, or we're going to give the price, the closing date, and the terms in the offer, or the conditions that are in the offer. They can disclose a bunch of things if they want, or they can just disclose one item. It's their choice. Now, the other thing is the seller can change their mind, which blows my mind. So they can start off closed, saying it's sealed bid like it is now. All offers come in. Nobody knows about them except for the seller.
And the
seller
listing
chooses,
agent.
and the listing agent, and the seller chooses. With an open system, they can now disclose to the other parties that are giving offers. And that's one thing I'm looking for clarity from, and we'll do more research on that. The way the legislature is written, it says when a second offer comes in, so now there's multiples, those people can find out what the offer is. If there's only one offer, it's still a sealed bid, as far as I can tell by reading what's out in the legislature. It won't be that now I can advertise that to any and all parties and say, hey, does anybody want to beat this amount? I don't believe that's the way it's going. It's only for other people that have put in a bona fide offer.
Right, and a bona fide offer means that it is in writing, that it has a consideration or a deposit that will be provided at a certain time, and it is on a legally binding document and paper. Right? Like an agreement of purchase and sale. If you haven't brought that in, or an offer to purchase that's in writing, a verbal offer is in fact not an offer. It is not worth the paper. It is not written on.
That's right.
So if you've done a verbal, this doesn't pertain to you.
Right.
It's only for written received offers that would have an irrevocable. And irrevocable is a big word that simply means for how long the offer is open for consideration to the other party. So what I'm just going to unpack it a tiny bit, because this is confusing stuff if you don't do it every day. We let it roll off our tongue because 35 years later, we better. When a buyer says, here's my offer, this is how much money I'm willing to offer, these are the conditions, which there may or may not be. These are the terms, the things that don't have a out but are simply to be adhered to. And this is the price, this is the deposit, this is the closing date. Then it's going to be available, that all the detail, that offer is going to be open for consideration to the seller until a certain time and date. 1 minute, 30 seconds after that time and date, if it says noon on September 15th, then at 12:01, right after noon on September 15th, that offer is no longer available to be accepted by the seller. That's what irrevocable represents. When a seller does a counteroffer in writing back to the buyer, which happens frequently enough, it will also have an irrevocable from the seller to the buyer. If it was till 6 p.m. and it's now 6:03, it is no longer available for the buyer to accept.
Right. And so if they sent that offer back with an irrevocable of 6 p.m. and at 4 p.m. they got a second offer that they really like, they cannot accept that because the other offer is out to the first buyer till 6 p.m. and it's irrevocable, which means they cannot take it back. So the buyer has till 6 p.m. If they accept it any time in that period, then they've conditionally or firmly bought the property, depending on what those conditions in the original offer.
Right.
And that's what irrevocable really means. So
I don't think we've ever done that good a job unpacking it. And it's a confusing thing for a lot of people, even if they bought or sold 5 houses.
Yeah, and if TRESA is confusing you, it's confusing the real estate industry. And that's why we're spending so much time helping you understand it and getting the information out there. So if you want to send us an email at together@dekkerteam.com, we'll make sure you get a copy of that guide when it's available. It's not available as of this time.
And we will do some more Q&A things, like send in your questions, ask us for clarity. We have most of it, and what we don't have, we will get to you once it is available.
Yeah, it's lots of fun. Open or closed, you called for it, you demanded it, because when the market was so hot, consumers were upset that we had closed bid systems. Now the seller can choose closed or open. And frankly, I still think it might be advantageous to the seller.
To what?
To go closed and open.
Oh, closed and then open. Confusion.
So we're grateful that you joined us on Life's Inside Track, because when we move forward together, we've got this.
Moving forward with the Dekker Team. Moving forward together.